So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this picture before. This is Jeff Bezos in 1999 at the beginning of Amazon. No employees, no team, no glory, no wealth, nobody telling him he's a genius. It was just one man alone in a room trying to figure out how to bring his vision to life. And I would tell you, this is what greatness actually looks like. It doesn't look like championships. It doesn't look like a harem of supermodels on a yacht. It doesn't look like Lamborghinis. It looks like a man who's alone, and he's the only one who can see something inside of him that he has a burning passion to bring out of himself. It's a man in a gym trying to find that ultimate version of himself deep inside, that physique that he could have, that mental toughness that he could have, that sense of confidence that he wants for himself. It is the man in an office, kind of like this one I'm in right now, some blank, white walled office, as you sit there trying to figure out how you're going to bring a company about or how you're going to salvage your career and get out of a shitty situation. This is what greatness looks like. It's this journey of being alone. And so many of you are in this kind of position. Listen, if you watch my channel, then clearly you have some sense of ambition. There's something you want to bring out of your life. There's something more to you, and you know this deep down. And I want to talk to you about why you need to become okay with being alone and why this is so important because, guys, everybody's on this thing where it's like you all want, and I don't say you all as if I'm immune to this. I've been in this boat before. I do think I've learned to get past it, but it's this natural kind of desire that people have where they want to fit in with the group. And they think that by being a part of the group, this somehow keeps them from being alone. And it gives them this sense of security and belonging and all of this stuff. But I would tell you that, listen, if you want something exceptional in life, if you want more, the price of that is being alone. Seriously, it's like if you're mature for your age, you're 22 years old and all your friends are out getting drunk and you see that excellence is the goal, that you see building something for yourself, building your career, building your body, building your mindset, your spiritual growth, all of these things, you see those as the true important things. You're going to be alone. If you have some vision for what you want from your life, you're going to be alone because nobody else can see that vision. If you see the truth on something that other people just don't see the truth about it, you're going to be alone. This is the price of greatness. This is the price of maturity. It's the price of a vision. It's the price of whatever you want in life. It comes with being alone. Almost by definition, nobody is going to see what you see inside of yourself, that vision you have. And just because other people don't see it doesn't mean you're wrong. When I dropped out of college, I was the only one doing it, and I felt alone for doing it, but I was right to do it. When I quit my stable, safe job at a UPS store that was taking me nowhere in the long run based on what I wanted for my life, people thought this was a bad idea. People questioned it. I was doubted, and I was alone when I moved to Houston, Texas after doing this, but it was the right decision to make. And now I sit in a similar spot right now where, I've got my real estate career that's going well. And there's that one part of me that's like, hey, you could just take this path. You could make your, $20,000 a month for the rest of your life. You could fit in with the people and you could have this little social life. And this could be your little box in the world, your little corner of existence over here. And this could be what your life is all about. And I know that's not the right path for me. I know my path is to build something bigger, and I have a vision I want to bring into the world. But the price of that is that nobody else sees it. And nobody's going to see anything that you're doing. Nobody's going to understand any of the things that you want to bring into your life until you've completed it. Nobody's going to understand why all of a sudden you've stopped going to the family reunions until you've built that big business. And then all of a sudden they'll want to be your friends. Nobody's going to understand why you stopped eating pizza and drinking beer and started working on your health until you get in shape, and then they get it. You see how this works, guys? You're gonna be alone. It is the price, the downside of being the visionary, being the leader, right? A lot of you guys, you don't even realize it, but you're breaking generational curses. You might be the first one in your family who's gonna make six figures, the first one in your family who wasn't out of shape. You're doing all these kinds of things and nobody's going to get it. And that's the price of being the visionary. It's the price of being the leader. You're going to be alone, and your ability to understand that and accept that is so important. And here's the other thing about it is you can choose to ignore those visions you have. You can choose to ignore that desire inside of you, that gut feeling that you know you're meant for more, that you know you could build something great, and you could choose to play it safe. You could choose to do what other people told you to do with your life. But you're going to be alone in a different way if you do that. You're going to be alone in your own head, having to live with the fact that deep down, you know there's something more that you're supposed to be bringing out of your life, and you're wasting your life. And you're going to feel alone even when you're surrounded by people. And this leads to a point, which is that truthfully, life is a solo mission. Nobody has the answers for you in life. And it doesn't matter if you choose to take the normal life path or you choose to go down the exceptional life path. It's just you at the end of the day. And this sense of security that people get by fitting into the crowd is an illusion, because it's not a real security. These people are not you, and they don't understand your life. And it's not that they're bad people. It's just that everybody's on their own mission in life, and that you can't escape the fact that it's just you at the end of the day. It's just you putting your head on that pillow. It's just you who has to make the decisions for your life. It can't be your parents. It can't be that coach or mentor. It can't be your friends. These people can offer you guidance, but only you know deep down inside of you what you're supposed to do. And you're the one who has to go down that path. You're the one who has to do that hard thing you don't want to do. And so it's very important to become okay with being alone, and understanding that being alone is actually the truth of life. You are alone, but paradoxically, if you go down that path of doing what you're supposed to do with your life, of following that vision inside of you, you find that it's not actually that you're alone. It's like that you were all you ever needed. And that sounds kind of fucking woo-woo and zen or some shit like that, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, genuinely, it's like what you're seeking from life is a sense of like coherence with yourself. You want to feel aligned with who you're supposed to be in this life, living the life you were meant to live. And the only way to do that is to truly become okay with being alone, not requiring the judgment and approval of other people to make decisions, trusting yourself, trusting your gut, going on that path, and learning to get comfortable with just being connected to who you're supposed to be in this life. And it's not an easy process, but I tell you guys, like I said, at 20 years old, this was very difficult for me when I dropped out of college. At 28 years old now, this is just a given. And I never feel really alone. And yes, I do have friends, and I'm not saying you won't have friends on this journey, but at the end of the day, you're just alone with you. Your friends are basically people who are on similar life paths as you, but they are not you. They are not going to be with you forever. It is just you at the end of the day, and you have to make these choices for yourself to live up to who you're supposed to be in life. The price of vision is isolation, because you are surrounded by the blind who don't understand what they want from life. They don't understand themselves, and you see something clearly. You see a future that you're supposed to bring to life. Deep down inside of you, you know this. The price of seeing the truth of something is that you're going to be alone, because you're surrounded by people who cannot see that truth. They are believing lies. And so you're surrounded by this, and you're going to be alone. It is the price of doing this. And the punishment is, you guys know these things. You know deep down you're supposed to do something. You know deep down what's true that you can see. And trying to deny that and fit in with people who don't see it is only going to make you feel more alone. And the price of knowing yourself and knowing what you're capable of and seeing that vision for your life is being alone, because no one else can see what you see. And they're not going to get it until you've completed it. And you're going to be surrounded by people your entire life who are going to ask you things like, why are you doing this? What is the point? Why can't you just go do this normal thing? I don't get it. All this kind of stuff. You're going to hear this over and over again for your entire life. And you've got to understand that that is the price of your role in life. You are somebody who is bringing something new into the world, a vision for your life, a vision for a better world, a truth that you see. And the price of that is to be alone. And it's not a price that's really expensive. It feels expensive, but it's way cheaper than the price of denying that truth. You got to understand this, and then understand that it's really, something I've figured out is that this is just a way of life. Nobody understood why I dropped out of college. Nobody understood why I refused to do the 9-to-5 route, and I was insistent on figuring out how to work for myself and build businesses. Even though I saw these truths, I saw that making $50,000 a year was not going to work, right? You can't afford to live off 50K per year. I saw that getting college debt didn't make any sense. I saw that the cubicle lifestyle was just hell on earth, and that's not what I wanted. It had no purpose to it. I saw that, being in great shape mattered a lot more to me than fitting in with everybody who wanted to get drunk and eat pizza or fit in with the family reunion crowd or whatever it is. I saw all this stuff. I saw that it didn't make sense for me to, start chasing women in my mid 20s and things like that, and that I needed to focus on excellence. And every time I did these things, everybody thought I was making a mistake. And you start to learn to trust yourself as this process goes along, because you realize like you have no choice but to accept this path. You have no choice but to follow the truth as you see it and follow that vision as you see it, because the other price tag is so much higher. The pain of not doing it when you know you should do it is so much higher. And so you start walking these paths, you start believing in your truths. And eventually you just get used to everybody telling you you're making a mistake and telling you this is bad and listening to their fear as they're afraid of you taking a chance on yourself. And you start to realize that like nobody has the answers. Again, it is a solo mission and you alone have to live with yourself and you have to make these decisions for yourself. And you start to trust your own brain and realize that you're capable of having the right answer. And in fact, you probably have the right answer. And most people probably haven't thought about it. If you've thought about it and you see a truth, you see a vision, it's because you've probably thought about it more than most people. It's not because you're wrong. It's usually because you're right and nobody else has thought about it and nobody else can see that. And that makes you feel alone. This is just the price of it. And then the thing is like, you're going to get proven right over time, over and over again. You will get proven right for realizing, hey, I need to go get a high income skill, or hey, I need to go get in the gym. Like I have this now with boxing, right? I'm training to do the amateur fights and then do a professional fight. And it's like, why are you doing this? People want to know, why are you doing this? Everybody, like girls I'll talk to want to know, why are you doing this? My family wants to know, why are you doing this? It's like, I'm not going to get paid a ton. It's not like I'm going to go be a world champion boxer or anything like that. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting myself through this? It's because deep down, first, I wanted to prove that I wasn't a bitch. Honestly, I felt like I was this tough guy. I worked out, I did hard shit, but it's like I had never tested myself in this way. And so then I go hard spar with people who are training to be professional fighters. And I realize I'm not a bitch. I'm not a coward. I can take a punch. I handle these things. And so I prove that to myself. And then I realized the next challenge is, okay, well, like, why not do this? Right? If I can do it, why not see what's possible for myself? And it's this thing inside of you, and you've all experienced this, I'm sure, at some point in something. It's this compelling thing inside of you that's like, I've got to do this. I've got to bring this thing out of me. I've just got to go do it, even though I don't want to. I don't even really want to do the fight. On some level, I want to do the fight. On another level, I don't even want to. It's like, I know I have to, though. It's like, I don't even want to be on a diet right now to get to 10% body fat, but I know that that's who I'm supposed to be. I don't want to. I mean, like, it would be great to literally just like sit back, chill, and just do nothing, right? And just kind of fuck around and go on trips and have an easy life. But it's like, I know I'm not supposed to do these things. I know that I'm supposed to build this supplement business. I know I'm supposed to build something real with my life. It's not going to be just real estate. And that's nothing against real estate. I've been very grateful for this career path I've been on with that. But I know there's things I'm supposed to do, and nobody gets it. Just like they didn't get it the last time I knew this stuff. And I'm not trying to brag and act like I've got the answers. It's just that I'm learning that you have to become okay with being alone and understanding nobody's going to get what you're doing here. And you're going to have to live with the fact that for a long time, you're going to look like an idiot too. You're going to look like you made mistakes. People are going to think they were right and you were wrong. And you just have to accept that and understand that like nobody's going to get it until it's done. And once you've accomplished that thing that you set out to do, the next thing you decide to do, they're going to question that just the same. And this is just a way of life. And you have to become okay with being alone if you want to be the kind of man who's going to bring something great into his life, who's going to take on challenges, who's going to lifemaxx. The average person is in debt, making $40K per year. They're out of shape. They're in a sexless marriage. If you don't want that, you're going to have to become okay with being alone and bringing a different vision into reality and standing up to the group pressure and the herd mentality that wants you to fit in with everybody. This is the price, guys. You're alone either way. You're alone in this agony and suffering of living a life you're not supposed to live, or you're alone with yourself on a journey to be who you were meant to be in this life. And the thing is, the more you walk that path, the more you realize you're not alone, because you've got a friend with you the whole time, and that friend is you. and you start to become a good friend to yourself. You start to trust yourself. You start to like your own company because you're living up to who you're supposed to be. We've all been in that spot where you do something shameful, embarrassing, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life and you know it, and you feel disconnected from yourself. You don't like yourself in those moments. That's what it's like for the average person who refuses to find themselves, who just lives some mundane life with no purpose and no vision. Do you really want to live that way? That's the most alone I ever feel. The most alone I ever feel is when I'm not living up to who I'm supposed to be. And the most in alignment, the most comfortable, the most secure in who I am that I ever feel is when I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Either way, you're alone. You don't have friends on this journey. Yes, you have friends, but you don't have somebody who is 100% you, who is 100% aligned with you, who's going to be with you the entire time, who has the answers for you. It is just you and God, truthfully. And this is how you have to move through life. And all of you need to learn to become okay with being alone. If you want to make anything of your life, you want to life max, and you want to become a good friend to yourself and do what you're supposed to do here on earth. I'm going to end it here, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.